Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to learn about the basics of Python using Jupyter. So the word is Jupyter. Jupyter is an open source web application that we use to create or share or document with other people like like friends or with other family members or with other coders, and these documents basically include the live code, equations, or some other resources like multimedia resources. So I'm here to tell you about the basics which a coder or a beginner should start a coding with. So these are the variables and expressions. Variables are basically the container that store the data or that store the values. Variable basically derived from the word vary, which means change. So basically variables are the values that we can change in our code during runtime. So variables are the values that we can change depending on some conditions or on some information passed to that program. It can be used to store data, it can be used to point to some values, or it can be used to assign a value. So they are sometimes act as a pointers. So I'm here to start with simple variables. So consider a variable a having value 3, and if we print a, it will give us the value of a, which is 3. If you want to change the value of a, so it will print the new value, which is 4. Okay, so variables can be of different types. They can have a different data types like integer type data. They can store the different types of data like integer type data, string type data, character type data. So variables can have different data types. So if I assign a value ikra to a string type variable, it will print the name of this variable, which is ikra. Okay, the most important thing, a variables must start with some alphabets. Variables must start with underscore, but it cannot be started with any digit or any special character, any special keyword. Like a variable can have a name like a name, my name, or underscore my name, but it cannot be started with any digit, or it cannot be started with any special keyword like dollar or any other symbol. Okay, so there is another thing, type. As I already told you, a variable can store different types of data like integer type data, string type data. So if you know the type of a type of data a variable have, so we use another word type which tells us about the type of data the variable have. For example, a is equals to 1, and we want to know the type of type of a. We already know that 1 is an integer, so it will definitely give us the type of a, which is integer in type data. And if you want to know the type of Ikra, it will print the type string. And if you wanna know the type character, it will print us the character type data. Sorry. Okay. In Python, string and characters are considered as the same thing because we know that strings are the sequence of characters. So Python do not distinguish between string and character. So it will print the character as a string data type. Character and string both has a similar data types. Okay. There is one another topic which is variable scope. Okay, we already know the variables that are used to store data, and they are the values can that we can change during the runtime. What is scope? Scope is basically the accessibility of a variable in a given program or function. We can access a variable in a program or function, or we can in a given program that or function that we made in our program, or we can access a variable in an entire code. There are basically two types of variable scope, which is a global scope and a local scope. Global scope mean we can access a variable from everywhere in our code, and local scope mean we can access a variable only within the function. We have to define our variable within the function, and this will be the local variable. So one important thing of a global variable is that we can change the value of a global variable using a word global. Okay, I'm going to write a code which for a global and local variable. For example, I'm telling you which is for a global variable, we define a variable a is equals to 3 and b is equals to 4. And if we want to change the value of a, we will use a keyword global a. Okay, we will use a word global which is used to assign a new value to a. Now we will give a value a is equals to 5 and b is equals to 6. It will only change the value of a because we use a keyword global with a, but it will consider b as a local variable, so it won't change the value of b. Fine, because local variables are only accessible within the function, and global variables we can access variable from everywhere, and we can change the value from everywhere. So here, for example, a is equals to 10, and we are going to define a global variable within another function. We will define a function myFunc, which is a function, and we will use a global keyword with a because we want to change the value of a. So now you can write a new value, or you can assign a new value to a, which is 5. So my function print the value of a. Now it will assign a new value of a, which is 5. Okay, if you haven't defined a global, for example, if you haven't defined a global keyword, it will take the old value of a, which is 10, and it won't assign a new value to a because it will consider a as a local variable, and and we didn't we didn't access that variable, so it gave us a old value of a. Now another example, a is equals to 3 and b is equals to 5. Okay, we want to assign a new value to b, and we change the value of a as well. So it won't consider the new value of a, it will only assign a new value to b, because we use the word global with b, and it will consider a as a local variable, so it will print the value of a, older value of a. So see, it uh, it printed out the value of a, older value of a, which is defined as a global variable, which is defined outside the function a is equals to 3, but it changed the value of b because we use the global keyword with b, so it accessed the variable b within the function and changed the value of b. There's another example, a is equals to 7. Sorry, if we print the value of a, okay, if we print the value of a, it will give us nothing. But if we want to change the value of a without using a global keyword, it will give us an error, because it will consider a as a local variable. See, See, it gave us an error because it considered, because what we did in this code is we changed the value of a without using the global keyword, so it will consider a as a local variable and it won't change the value of a. So compiler assume a as a local variable which is not defined as a local variable, then it gives us an error. So which is not defined as a global variable, so it will give us an error. See, unbounded local cannot access local variable a where it is not associated with a value. So this is what we studied in our lecture. So thank you.